Okay, BookTube, let's wrap up some new adult romance. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and I thought I would wrap up some of the new adult romance that I've been reading. This is pretty good stuff, but it does tend to get a little more dramatic, and high on the angst side, more so than the adult romance that I have read. So let me start off with two books in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. These are narrated on audio by Lorelei Avalon, and the first one is called The Deal. And this is kind of cute. It's all about Hannah, who has a crush on the football quarterback at college. And the hockey player Garrett has a crush on her. So she solicits his help to be able to win the quarterback, or at least have him notice her. And Garrett, of course, has ulterior motives, and so it's the story of how that plays out. It's kind of cute, largely unremarkable, but you know, worth the read. I give it 3 stars. The Mistake is book 2 in that series. And this follows Logan, who is a hockey player, part of the team that this whole series is about, and Grace. And Grace was a freshman last year and thus off limits because you don't want to date a freshman apparently with this hockey team. Logan has some things going on. He's a very talented hockey player, but he has some stuff going on at home that's kind of strangling him and leaving him without any options. And Grace feels for him, but he broke her heart. I mean, he kind of blew it with her. And she is just not going to fall for it again. And so he has to work to win her trust and kind of win her heart again. And it's a cute story. And I have to say that it had a little more depth than the first one. I think it dealt with some bigger issues, like alcoholism and families falling apart and great families that take care of each other and things like that. It had enough plot elements going on, not to be too crowded, but enough to kind of give it some interest. And so as those got resolved by the end of the book, I mean, it was the kind of thing where I thought, how are they going to resolve this? So it was good. I liked it, and I gave it 4 stars. Wait by A.L. Jackson is narrated on audio from 2 points of view by Andi, Arndt, and Zachary. This is book 4 in the Bleeding Stars series. I don't know how I picked up book 4 and not books 1, 2, and 3, but somehow I did. And this is all about Austin and Edie, and they each have their issues, and they've been together for a long time, and you know, there are problems, and you know, it's your standard stuff. Largely unremarkable, a little heavy on the emotional description, and I ended up giving it 3 stars, mainly because I like the narration. This is Falling is by Ginger Scott, and it is book 1 of the Falling series. And it's narrated on audio by Melissa Moran, and this is all about Ro. And she is at college, and kind of very tenuously. Her parents don't think she's ready for that, but she thinks, I've got to face this. And she's got some degree of PTSD because of something that happened to her. And that figures really prominently into the plot. But part of my problem with this book is that they string you along. I mean, this author strings you along and you don't find out what that thing is. I mean, it got to the point where I'm like, just tell me already. Well, she meets Nate, and Nate is a baseball catcher for the college team, and he's, you know, the star. And as the romance develops between he and Ro, Ro changes a little too quickly for my taste. And so that kind of, I don't know, it just didn't stay true to her character. And he is a great character, kind of very patient with her, to kind of hang with her and give her a lot of space and not run when he realizes what she's dealing with. So, you know, it was okay. I didn't love it, and I ended up giving it 2 stars. Kiss Me in Carolina is by Brooke St. James, and it is narrated on audio by Kate Rudd, which is why I picked it up. This is book 2 in the Hunt family series, and in it we have Rachel, who is a dental school student in California. and her cousin wants to come out and stay with her for a little while. Her cousin is wealthy, indulged, and a little bit of a snob. They go to kind of hang out at a set where this movie is being filmed with this movie star that the cousin is interested in and has met. This movie star guy kind of wanders over, and Rachel's trying to stay out of the way, and they start a conversation, and then it becomes their romance. Well, it's a cute story because of the idea that, you know, nobody girl meets movie star, and he's a great guy and not caught up in all of the trappings of, you know, celebrity and all that. This is Christian romance, and there are a lot of elements that are decidedly Christian about it. The romance tended to be a little too good to be true. You know, the way that they felt about each other. It was really vanilla, and it was really kind of contrived, to be honest. A lot of time passes in this book that you aren't told about. It's like, and 6 months later, and 12 months later, you know, kind of thing. And while it's cute, and it has a sweet ending, it's just a little too good to be true. And I think this is my problem with a lot of Christian romance. It doesn't have any grit to it. Like there's I don't even know what to say, no spice to it. And by that I don't mean a lot of sex, because you don't need a lot of graphic scenes in order to make a book interesting and make characters interesting and develop a conflict. You don't have to do that. A good author is able to do that with, you know, that set completely aside. And yeah, on the other hand, you have authors that just everything is so light. It's like the reading equivalent of whipped cream, you know. It's sweet and nice, but it's really light and kind of not much to it. So I just didn't like it. I'm not going to continue with that series because I don't have any faith that the rest of the books are not going to be that way. So I ended up giving that one 2 stars. And those are some of the books, the new adult romances that I've been reading lately. And if you've read any of them, of course, let's chat about them. I love talking about this kind of stuff, especially the ones that I didn't like nearly as much. So let's do that in comments, and that's it for now from me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.